also find yourself struggling with self-worth or constantly seeking external validation, this, as we mentioned earlier, might come from constantly being criticized or neglected as a child. So now as an adult, you find yourself constantly trying to seek validation from other people because you doubt yourself within. While some inner child wounds are created from the things that happen to us, some of them are actually created from things that didn't happen for us. Like, for example, if you ever did something nice and you're never really praised for it, you might find yourself thirsty for constant cheering on and whatnot, and you might find yourself constantly bitter and jealous of other people being supported by their family. You know, sometimes you've seen people who you don't even understand, why is she jealous, why is she acting this way, why is she bitter, why is she resentful. It's because maybe they never experienced what you are experiencing. Them as a child, they never got the praise, or they never got their needs met, and because of that, when they see it now, their friends experiencing it, they might end up being resentful or bitter about it, or jealous even. Sometimes it happens even with your own children. I've heard of people who will not give their child something because they never had it as growing up. It becomes one of the, not because they can't afford it, but it becomes one of those things where they feel like, because I didn't have it, then I'm not going to allow you to have it, without a real reason per se, not even in the sense that it might be harmful to the child. It's not even anything like that, but it's more of the thing that they needed the most as a child wasn't given to them, and so it becomes like one of those things where you're trying to punish your child for the things that you were not given at the time that you were young. So sometimes you find that some people will do certain things to other people because it's the inner child in them that didn't get those things, and so they feel like because they didn't get it, then other people are not also deserving of that thing. So after all this is said and done, how does one heal the inner child? Of course, you don't completely 100% heal everything. It's an ongoing process. It's almost as though as one thing is being cleared out, something else comes in. But it's a wonderful experience, and also it helps you to get to the root of the problem, and not just for you to solve the symptoms, because most times what we do is we solve the symptoms and we don't really get to the root of the problem, and so we find ourselves constantly finding ourselves in these situations or in these cycles because the real problem has not been solved. We've only looked at the symptom. So in healing your inner child, firstly, you need to acknowledge it. You need to acknowledge the unmet needs. You need to acknowledge that there are certain things that as a child they were not fully experienced, or they were not fully given to you, because at the end of the day, we're all human beings. Majority of what we seek for can fully and truly only be the void can only be filled by a higher power. For those of us who are Christian, it can only be filled by Christ. To heal the inner child, self-reflection is also important. This can be done through journaling or meditation. This can help you in connecting with your inner child, or rather your childhood memories, and to perhaps get to the root of the problem. So journaling brings back maybe some hidden or some underneath problems that have been suppressed or repressed for a very long time. Meditation can also help with this. So self-reflection is really an important part of healing your inner child. Another way in which you can heal the inner child is self-compassion. You need to give yourself grace. Majority of the things that we go through happen through in our minds. So it's really important to check your inner dialogue. How do you talk to yourself, most especially when you make mistakes? Do you give yourself grace? You know, the thing is, if you as a child, perhaps when you did something wrong, you were punished, however way you were punished. Now as an adult, there's no one to punish you per se except yourself. So when you make a mistake, your inner dialogue will either help you get better or will make the mistake a lot worse. So it's really important to assess yourself and to check how your inner dialogue is. And if it is unkind, you need to start learning to be kind to yourself, to understand that mistakes are there to teach us. Mistakes are not the end of it all. Mistakes are there to help us learn or find a better way of doing whatever it is that we were trying to do. Lastly, another way through which you can heal your inner child is through seeking professional help. It could be through therapy, it could be through coaching, but what is truly important is being honest with yourself and being as authentic as you can possibly be. Because when you hide these issues, then there's no way that you can get better, there's no way that you can heal. It's in getting curious with our triggers, getting curious with the things that are upsetting us, that we start to get to the bottom of everything that is happening, or we start to understand, or we start to get better. So it is really important that if you're going to also seek professional help, you must be as honest as you can possibly be with yourself, as well as with your coach or with your therapist, because at the end of the day, it won't do anyone any good if you're hiding or if you're not being truly honest. So that's all I had for you today. I'm wishing you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous 2025, as this is going to be the last episode for this year. Our next episode is going to be probably the second Tuesday in January. Otherwise, stay tuned for more episodes in 2025 where we cover more issues to do with mental health, as well as entrepreneurship, and just, you know, being a conscious parent. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and if there's any other topics that you would like us to cover, especially in 2025, then be sure to put in the comments or DM me, and I'll sort that out next year.